who is Karina Michel beyond all the titles that I have just mentioned?
I guess since a young age, I've always loved creativity.
Which role feels most natural to you?
I guess one that we didn't talk about is a mom.
Somewhere meaningful conversations has done to me. Has that happened with you?
It has. You're right. That's a good connection. I like that. No one's ever asked me that, but
I still remember there was this one guy on this podcast. His name was Larry Wilson. He said, "No one in this entire world has ever died of embarrassment." What does leadership mean to you today?
leadership to me is about bringing out the best in other people.
How storytelling actually builds a personal brand, and why is it so important?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important because
One thing people fake in communication.
I would say happiness
That's deep.
and getting mixed up in politics is never a good idea, no matter where it is. I don't think.
Hello everyone, this is Aditya Mehta and I welcome you back to the Aditya Mehta show. And today's episode is going to be really special because we are diving into something that affects all of us: conversations, connections, storytelling, and the way we present ourselves in the world. Our guest today is someone who beautifully wears multiple hats. She is an actress, producer, podcast host, and a creative entrepreneur. Now, I know that you all are wondering, what is creative entrepreneur? Well, she is going to answer that for sure. She is the host of Coffee with Karina, Entertainment Unfiltered, and someone who truly understands how meaningful conversations can open unexpected doors. Please allow me to welcome Karina Michel. Hi, Karina. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Pretty amazing. Pretty excited to record this podcast with you, honestly, because I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of value today in terms of my learning as well, and I'm sure audience is going to get a lot of values from it as well. And just really excited. Coming to your part, like I gave a very short and crisp introduction of yours, Karina, but I would really love if you can give more detailed introduction of yours and something like who is Karina Michel beyond all the titles that I've just mentioned. Like who is
Yeah.
she in a real life?
The authentic Karina Michel, yeah, the real one. Okay. I guess since a young age, I've always loved creativity. I love doing anything creative, and that was kind of my outlet, whether it was acting or, like we were just talking about like stage acting or speech and drama, getting up on a stage and speaking. I loved all that stuff since I was really young, even art, and painting, everything. So I was lucky enough, I guess, to get to do all these things as an adult. I gotta keep those
Of
childlike
course.
things going. But it's funny, my mom still tells this story of when I was younger. I think I was really young. I think I was probably like 2 or 3. And somehow I opened the door and I went out for a walk, which is not good when you're like little, My mom was just like, "Where's Karina?" But she found me, not too far from the house. But I had gone out there because I wanted to talk to the big girls, the older girls out there, which were
Oh,
probably like teenagers. But,
of
but
course.
so I think like since I was younger, I've loved just connecting with people, even since I was this big. So just that I still think that's kind of, I don't know if it's my superpower, my, a gift that I have, for interviewing and all of that now. But I still love that. I still love connecting with people and yeah. So if everything I guess there's too much to put in an intro, but yeah. So I'll let you ask the questions because there's a lot. I've been doing this for a long time. But that's kind of how it started. And I was lucky that my parents cultivated that, and they let me be
Of course.
creative and yeah.
But I think somewhere we all have did this, that we always wanted to talk to the teenagers when we were very small, and
Yeah.
we were kind of curious, like, okay, what are you doing? And
Yes. I saw
exactly,
nothing
right?
wrong with it. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's kind of me too moment as well, because everyone has done that. And audience, you can let me know in the comments if you have done that as well. However, coming back to you, Karina, today, okay, if we talk about like genuinely today, okay,
Mhm.
which role, like you are an actress, okay, you are a podcast host, you are a producer, you are a lot of things, okay, and creative entrepreneur, okay, which role feels more like you, or which role feels most natural to you today?
Yeah. I mean, I guess one that we didn't talk about is a mom. I think that's where I feel my true self and my strengths coming through. Sometimes not always. Sometimes it brings out the worst too. If my daughter's running late, but I think that's where I feel truly myself when I'm at home, doing family stuff, because that's really what's most important to me and always has been and always will be. But I guess as far as the roles that you mentioned, I would say, I mean, I yesterday was just incredible. I love like the journalism part of it, which I kind of discovered later. I think it was in 2020. I started doing it because I was bored, and everything had shut down. There was nothing to do, and so I
Right.
started doing more writing
Mhm.
and loved it. And that's how I found out I love to interview and connect with people in that way. But that kind of led to the documentary stuff because a lot of that is connecting with people, in different environments from different cultures. And that's probably where I feel, you know, most like myself. But I mean, like I said before, I was also producing and directing, but it doesn't seem like, I don't know. I don't think of it as being that difficult. It's more when you think of it in a way as the things you have to remember before you go to set. Did I do this? Did I get this done? But yeah, I would say the documentaries and interviewing. I love it.
That's pretty amazing, because even I will tell you this, Karina, that this podcast is also a COVID product. Okay, it started during COVID. It started during lockdown.
Really?
Yeah,
What? Why?
that's
How did that happen for you? Did it just happen organically and just I'm gonna do something because nothing's going? Yeah.
well, honestly, it just happened because before lockdown, I was already a public speaker. So I used to teach people. I used to talk about personal development and a lot of things. So I was a good public speaker, I would say. And when the lockdown appeared, suddenly I felt like there is something which is missing in my life. Okay,
Mm,
although the job was going on, I was working from home, but still
mm,
something felt odd, something felt missing. And one of my friends just told me, you know what? You can actually start your own podcast through anchor.fm. And before that, I wasn't aware what actually podcasting is. It came to me with a beautiful series that once aired, and which was known as God Friended Me. Okay,
mm.
it was a very big series back in the
Oh,
lockdown, I guess. And in that, the lead character had a podcast. And I'm like,
oh,
okay, this is something which I would
oh,
like to do.
yeah.
And it started then. And honestly, the first season was, even there are audios still there on Spotify, it was the worst. Okay, the sound quality was bad, the scripting
No.
was bad, everything was bad. Okay, but people loved it, and I continued it somehow, and it opened a lot of doors for me. So yeah, it went really pretty well after that.
That's awesome. You have to start somewhere, right? I mean, that's how it is with anything, with business or and you grow and you add to it and you cultivate it over time, and that's
Right.
how it works.
Right. Coming to you, I mean, I do have a follow up question, because when you said that you something which feels more yourself is the family time more, or the family person, or being a mother. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this is quite interesting, because most of the young women today, they
Mm-hmm.
think that to be successful, they shouldn't be raising family too early, or maybe later as well. Okay,
Yeah.
this has been kind of a narrative that has been going on from quite a while now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? Because now you have both the roles and you go through it every single day. So, what's exactly your take on that?
What's the secret? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. People always ask me like, how do you do it all? And the fact is sometimes you can't do it all. You kind of have to pick and choose which things, but my big thing is I don't like missing anything special they have at school. And I guess having my own business or, businesses makes it so that I can go to the things at their school. Because if I had a 9 to 5 job, I mean, you really can't do that. So in a way, it's worked for me
Mhm.
in a much better way. I can't imagine it any other way. Yeah, and it's been pretty easy. But I think in the beginning, it was tough. I had my office set up here, and I'd have like my daughter would sit and play with toys by my desk. I do. Yeah, moms are multitaskers. We
Of
do
course.
all these multiple, and some guys too, but we do multiple things at once. So now we're kind of known for that, I guess. But yeah, in the beginning, it's hard. You have to figure it out and do what you have to do to make it work, I guess. But
Beautifully said. I'm definitely sure all the young men, young women who are listening to this would
yeah.
really take a lot of value out of it.